Alright, hey guys, remember it's TCG back in the video. This video will be showing you a Ghoti deck profile, and this is for Master Duel. I'm just showing it through Yugioh Pro just because it's easier to do so. And let's just get started here. So here I run one copy of Snopia's Shade of the Ghoti. You only really need one copy. This card is able to get itself out pretty easily, and you're also able to recycle it through its own effect pretty easily as well. Then we have 3 copies of Supei Duskflocker and 1 Supei. This just makes it easier to go into your level 6 synchro. And from there you can extend, so pretty nice. It doesn't even use up your normal summon either. And then we have 3 copies of Bishark. This card's just insane. It's probably going to be a staple for all fish decks. You're able to special summon it out really easily, and it gives you a free search, so really nice here. And then 3 copies of Lifeless Leaffish. This card just lets you pitch one of your Ghoti monsters to the grave, and then from there you can extend, because usually you can drop, I'm gonna show you guys in a combo, but you can drop shift and then you shift to banish, and then during your opponent's turn you can actually special summon it out. But basically it just gives you the ability to pitch whatever you need into the grave. Then we have 2 copies of Minaruka, because this is able to special summon itself out easily, so it's just a level 4 fish that you can get out pretty easily, and also you're able to banish something while negating one face-up card in the field. So that's nice, because if you banish one of your Ghoti monsters, you can actually choose to activate their effects from there on. So pretty good synergy with those cards. And then here we have 1 copy of Omen of the Ghoti. So if a fish monster is banished, you can special summon this card out. Level 4 monster that you're able to get out pretty easily. It does have an effect that's relevant for the Ghoti traps, but we don't really run those, as you can see. So yeah, only 1 copy. And we have 2 copies of Silent Angler. Again, just another way of getting level 4s out pretty easily. For hand traps here we have 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Maxi, and then here we have 1 copy of Zep Ruby of the Ghoti. So you can see that all these tuners here are level 2, and the main thing that, like, the ratios, I kind of prefer these ratios because my favorite out of these is Paces, but the main thing is that you're going to be able to synchro summon during your opponent's turn. They each have unique effects here that could be relevant, but they don't do anything too crazy. It's just mainly to get them out or get them banished so you can synchro summon during your opponent's turn. But mainly here, Paces, Light of the Ghoti, you're able to banish this card you control and then special summon 1 fish monster from your hand. So that just gives you a chance to extend. And then we have 3 copies of Butunophobe Princess. So this card's pretty amazing in this deck, just because it gives you access to your entire board, or your entire main deck here. And yeah, it's pretty vested, and I'm gonna show you guys a combo, of course, using this card. And here we have 2 copies of Triple Tactic Talents, just so you have some cards that you can play during your opponent, or during your turn. If your opponent tries to play, you can use this so you can continue playing on. Terraforming for the field spell. 2 copies of Called by the Grave, because hand traps, and then 2 copies of the Most Distant Deepest Steps. So this card's pretty nice because it's pretty hard for it's pretty difficult for your opponent to get rid of it, but you're also able to banish a fish monster from your hand or grave and add 1 Ghoti monster free deck to your hand. So not only can you banish one of your fish monsters and activate their effects, but you can actually search out a Ghoti monster. So that's pretty nice. And then we have 3 copies of Imperm to finish up the main deck and the hand trap lineup. Alright guys, before I go to the extra deck, if you guys are enjoying the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to stay tuned because I am going to be dropping combos for this deck. So here we have 1 copy of Baron the Floor. So Baron the Floor, it's a synchro deck. This card's really easy to get out as well, since you can usually get out Ghoti of the Deep Beyond, then you can choose to get Baron the Floor out. Ghoti of the Deep Beyond, 2 copies of this card. It's really cool, just being able to clear the entire board. You just banish all cards on the field, and then during the standby phase you get it back. So pretty great. Crystal Wing, because you're synchro climbing based on our Ariampos. So usually it makes it pretty easy to go into Crystal Wing, since this is a level 6, and then you have level 2 tuners. It just seems like a perfect setup for Crystal Wing here. And then from there you can actually climb above, even beyond that. After you use Crystal Wing's effect, you can actually go into Ghoti of the Deep Beyond and then clear out the board. So pretty good synergy here. And then here we have Adamantipator Risen Dragite. So this is just mainly for the spell trap negate. Then we have White Aura Whale. So if you need a monster for you to win, if you really need to win that turn, this card will do it. You can just destroy, when this card is synchro summon, it lets you destroy all opponents' attack position monsters. So it lets you clear out their board. And not only that, but this monster can attack twice. It can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase, and if they happen to have a monster that was in defense position, this guy has piercing. So this card just really does a lot. You can see, even if this card destroys an opponent's card, you can banish one other water monster from your grave, especially on this card, and if you do treat it as a tuner. So this just gives you a lot of ways that you can use this card. It's a powerful card. Then we have one copy of Golem Spear of the Ghoti. So this card, I don't go into it often. I just think it's a cool card, and it's a great one to have here in case you just want to bring out its materials. And then we have two copies of Askin, the Bicorn Ghoti. This card, this is going to be one of the ones that you're kind of like building on top of a lot. But yeah, when it's summoned, you can just banish one card your opponent has and banish itself, but then you can just bring it back out. So it's pretty easy and pretty good way to use this card. Excel Synchron, Stardust Dragon. So you can actually run Stardust here as well if you want to tribute it in order to get a Stardust out. I just don't think Stardust is powerful enough to get to run, but I do see some people running it, so definitely worth considering. But Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, yeah, you just being able to revive a level 2 tuner just means really easy way to go into a level 10, whatever you choose to go into. If you want to go to Ghoti Deep Beyond or Burn the Floor, it's just pretty easy to build on here. And then two copies of the Ariampos Serpent of the Ghoti. This card is really integral as you're going to be going into this most of the time and just building on top of this. So yeah, two copies at the minimum, I think it's definitely necessary. One copy of South Gragan, because it's it can mess up your opponent, just turning your opponent's monsters all into water. Popping things from there is pretty nice as well. And then Abyss Dweller, because punish the grave right now. This is a good time to do so. We have one copy of Abyss Keeper. This card synergizes really well with the deck, as you can special summon one fish monster from your hand to your zone this card points to, but you're also able to target one other fish monster you control and one card your opponent controls and banish those cards. So your opponent's going to get punished heavily for it, while you're just going to be banishing one of your monsters, and then you can just activate their effects. And for the side deck are cards that I considered but then end up running. So this is another copy of Shift. This is if you just feel like you're not going into the tuners enough, but the Ghotis I feel like are good enough in just reoccurring themselves that you don't really need to run a lot of copies of them. And then two copies of the Stealth Kragan Spawn in case you want to have something to come out of the Stealth Kragan. And then Moray of Avarice is just like if you want to increase the control power of your deck, and banishing a face of fish serpent, well, mainly fish, is it's not that big of a cost for this deck. So it's definitely worth looking into. But let me know what you guys think about this deck profile, and make sure to stay tuned because I am going to be dropping combos for this deck. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.